We did this work with JP Morgan Chase with their AI innovation product ops robotics teams. Going fast means slowing down to reduce inefficiencies and make sure things don't go out that
Right.
aren't broken.
That's
Take the
right.
Ford Pinto, for instance, biggest recall in automobile history. Didn't have to happen if you just paused every now and then to make sure you were doing the right thing. That's it.
Three things you will learn from this episode. Number one, how gratitude can 10x your leadership. Number two, for companies, the future of growth isn't about doing more, it's about doing it differently. And number three, quick fixes to spark real connection. Welcome to this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. I feature Olympians, CEOs, disruptors, authors, professional athletes, and the best of the best, where they share their stories of resilience with my lens on leadership and culture. Let's get started. What do you get when you combine a Wall Street Journal best-selling author, a keynote speaker known as the Gratitude Guru, a creator whose framework has been used by Google, Microsoft, IBM, and even the US Navy, a leader who's facilitated over 750 transformative experiences around the globe? You get my friend, Chris Schembra. Chris is on a mission to prove that gratitude isn't soft, it is the strongest lever we have to build trust, belonging, and human connection at work. He's made it his mission to prove that gratitude isn't soft, it's the strongest lever we have. And through his books, Gratitude and Pasta, Gratitude Through Hard Times, and features in the New York Times, Forbes, Rolling Stone, and Good Morning America, Chris continues to inspire leaders worldwide to slow down, connect, and unlock human potential. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Wow, Lyndsay, what a wonderful thing that you've built, and what a wonderful journey that you've had, and it's an honor to be here with you. You
Oh,
ask such great questions, and you create such great containers for human transformation and growth. So it's an honor to be a part of that journey today.
that is very generous of you to say. Thank you. It has been a long time coming. I'm so happy to have this conversation with you. We are about to inspire a lot of people. Okay, so I start every show the same way, and this is no different. So could you please, for the five people that don't know you, please share a little bit of your story?
Yeah, I'm recently turned 38 years old. Live in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. I yeah, been to jail a couple times, shipped off to rehab a couple times, kicked out of school, moved to New York City on my 24th birthday with no job, no college degree, one suitcase, living on my buddy's couch in Brooklyn. Found a mentor who was 74 years old when I was 24 years old. I got hired by him, a legend, when he got to watch the way I asked questions
Mm.
to a rock. And eventually I invented a pasta sauce recipe and decided to feed it to people to see if it was even good or not. Started hosting dinner parties. And at each one of those dinner parties, starting 10 years ago, we'd connect and work together to create the meal and have a shared group experience. And at 7:47 p.m. every single night, I would pause whatever dinner we were hosting and I would ask a simple question. If you could give credit or thanks to one person in your life that you don't give enough credit or thanks to, or that you've never thought to thank, who would that be? We go around the dinner table, all take a deep breath, we lean in and share the most amazing stories you've ever seen before in your life. And those dinners, which at the time were every week, once a week for free in our home, morphed into a whole business consultancy helping the world's greatest companies achieve excellence, gain the competitive edge, grow at a rapid ability by just being more human,
I love it.
right? Sharing some meals, asking some better questions, changing their mindsets about tomorrow, and doing great things through that energy. So my whole journey started off barefoot on the beach. It morphed into pasta sauce around the dinner table, and we got to meet and work alongside some pretty great folks who taught us a little bit about life along the journey, and that's been yeah, a wonderful career path to go down.
I mean, you have lived a lot of lives in your 38 years, and I'd love to connect the dots a little bit for folks because you moved to New York at 24. You meet this mentor who was like this beautiful father figure, and you said you were talking to a rock or asking questions to a rock. Can you dive in a little bit on that? Like, what was the point? Why was he asking that? And what made him see such promise in you?
Yeah, phenomenal. Thank you for pointing out that exact part of the story. It's truly the beginning. Um, I moved to New York City with a dream. I had started a
As
little
many
bit.
do.
Yeah, I started a little video production company in my hometown, small little hometown in South Carolina, and I said, "Hey, if I can make it in South Carolina, I can make it in New York City." I think it's supposed to be the opposite,
I know
but
I was gonna say.
so I was quickly humbled when I moved to
Yeah.
New York City, and I'm just hustling around, right? I'm this little 24-year-old kid, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, calling everybody that I thought could give me, some kind of opportunity, whatever. Just give me some cash. I'll do anything. And eventually, I started talking around town, saying that I kind of wanted to take acting classes in the meantime, learn about show business. I don't know. And so this one person gave me this guy's card. For the visual watchers, I'm holding up his business card. That's how important he was to
Tony
me.
Bianco.
Tony Lobianco, right? I was given this business card of an actor fella who had been really big in the 70s and 80s, Academy Award winning, star of Academy Award winning films, nominated for Tonys. He'd won Emmys. He was just an absolute, like, big
Bro.
energy legend.
Hmm.
Um, and I gave him a call, and he said I could come over to his apartment. He was pretty much retired at the time. He'd made a lot of money. He was just kicking it. And he said I could ask him questions about the business of acting. I'm a curious fella. I put 100 questions on a yellow loose leaf piece of legal pad paper, and I showed up to his house ready to get a master class in acting,
Sure.
right? And the minute I walked through the door, Lyndsay, big apartment over Central Park West, he guided me over to the couch. We sat down. He went over to the windowsill. Pause for a sec. Let me spin in my chair. He went over to the windowsill. And for those of you who are only watching on audio, I'm holding up a rock. He picked up a rock from the windowsill, massive, fossil, put it in front of me in the couch and said, "Chris, this is before hello, how are you?
Hmm.
This is Chris. Ask this rock a question." I said, "What?
Why?
Are you crazy, old man?" I'm starting to get, scared for my life.
Yeah.
This is weird. He said, "Go ahead." I said, "Hey, Rock, how'd you get here? Hey, Rock, how old are you?" He interrupted. He said, "Chris, go deeper. What do you think this rock has seen across the course of its lifetime?" And off we went. And Lyndsay, we asked questions to a rock that day for 8 hours. Right? We ate two different servings of pasta. We drank two full bottles of wine. I missed 6 phone calls from my dad. I mean, we went for it. And we didn't talk about acting once that
Hmm.
day. We just talked about life. And so as I was heading over to the door to leave, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "Chris, what are you doing for money?" Right?
I don't know. 24. I'll
I
figure
didn't,
it out.
I didn't have a good answer. I was starting to strike out. I was starting to pack my bags to move back home, tail between my legs.
Yeah.
He said, "Why don't you come back next week? I'll give you some things you could do around the house. Cleaning out his script closet, organizing his phone book, driving him to charity events." And that's how I started my first job
In New York.
in New York City, right? He saw something in me
Hmm.
worth investing in.
Yeah.
He saw part of himself in me watching the way I asked questions to that rock, watching the arguments I made, watching how I had held silence with tension, watching all these things, observing my curiosity.
Yeah.
I didn't get hired because I was a subject matter expert.
Mm-mm.
I got hired because I demonstrated an ability to connect.
Well, and he did what I think the best leaders do. And he saw a spark in you. He saw potential. He saw a willingness of you to go places that most people wouldn't go. And you built some trust over those two bottles of wine and big bowls of pasta. And the best leaders understand that trust is your currency. And that is what really moves the needle. So, I want to talk a little bit about you have this framework that you built with the word pasta, of course, and you've talked to some of the biggest companies around with this framework. So, can you take us through that?
Yeah. Pasta is truly the theme of my life. It goes from eating pasta with Papa Tony, Papa Tony teaching me how to cook pasta, and then me inventing my own pasta and me starting to host dinners to help people connect. And what was so magical, um, early on when we first started hosting dinner parties on July 15th, 2015, we set a simple rule. First time you come to the dinner, you come alone. Second time you come, you get to bring a friend.
Hmm.
Third time you come, you get to email in and nominate someone to attend without you having to be there.
Hmm.
And so the more dinners we kept hosting, the more we were starting to say goodbye to the people who only knew us for who we were
Hmm.
and started being introduced to the people who could see us for who we were becoming.
Hmm.
And I preface that to say that within a year's time of hosting dinner parties every week, once a week for free in our home, we started being introduced to Fortune 500 CEOs,
Yeah.
Academy Award winners, Olympians, Super Bowl champions, those kind of folks. And what started off as personal friendships then morphed into the
Business.
largest companies in the world calling us up to come do our thing with them on massive, massive scale.
Hmm.
Not just dinners, but massive consulting, advisory, and building programs. So I say that to say we've been around the block, we've met a few people, and I've gotten to study that the most successful people we've worked
Hmm.
with or we've asked this gratitude question to and entertained or whatever. I'm talking about Bill Gates, Michael Dell,
Hmm.
4-year-old kids on Skid Row, whatever. They do 5 things I've noticed really, really well to achieve excellence and gain the competitive edge. Number one, they create moments of pause. Number two, they ask really good questions. Number three, they savor what's working and then shift what's not. Number four, they take action that's bold, empathetic, collaborative, and focused. And number five, they actually appreciate the journey, both the good and the bad. P, pause. A, ask. S, savor. T, take action. A, appreciate. PASTA. Folks, what does it spell?
Pasta.
Pasta. So we love traveling around the world teaching this pasta framework, and I can go through it for a few minutes just to kind of, go one step deeper. But pause is about choosing presence before performance.
Mhm.
Pause is about saying, gosh golly, I run really fast. If I'm going this fast, where's the opportunity to regain clarity and control? Where's the opportunity to slow down and connect? Where's the opportunity just to let the good creative thoughts catch up?
Well, and just speaking from, spending 23 years at IBM, pausing is not real high on their list. And
No.
nobody wants you to slow down. And, even, you're approaching the end of the quarter, you're going to knock it out of the park. You want a few days to breathe and celebrate. Oh, hell no. There's no time for that. So I love that you incorporate this
And
because those pauses help you take stock. It helps you recognize, okay, what did we do badly? What do we need to fix? What did we do well? Let's celebrate those things and learn from them.
one
And I just
one
love,
of the behaviors that y'all watching this can implement immediately actually comes from this. We did a great leadership development program. Me, Mike O'Brien, Mike McCabe, Mike French, for a whole year. They did it for multiple years with a group down in North Carolina. Admiral Mike McCabe, one of the partners, is the four of us, but Admiral Mike McCabe used to be the executive officer in charge of Top Gun. He
mm,
was the head of naval aviation at the
mhm.
Pentagon. Him and I would step on stage and kind of compliment each other. The number one pause tool that he taught was a military style debrief that Top Gun uses
Yeah.
to be the best weapons fighter school in the world. Three questions after everything you do. Pause to ask your team these three things. Number one, what went well? Number two, what could have gone better? Number three, what are we going to do differently next time?
Yeah.
You see how those are future oriented, solution based questions
Yes.
rather than diagnostic, past based questions,
Yes.
right? So create micro moments of pause, maybe just to do that, or
Well,
maybe put a 5 minute window in your calendar before a big meeting
hmm
just to think.
hmm
What's the goal?
I,
What's the
I
goal?
I appreciate that so much, Chris, because I've seen so many companies where the leaders they're not taking those pauses, and instead of taking stock and instead of asking those three questions, they just are very stuck on the shiny penny syndrome. So, oh, hey, I saw this keynote speaker, I saw this new methodology. Let's throw everything in our budget and all at it, and we're going to try that for 6 months and let's not pause and let's try it again with another one. And I've seen these leaders who, they've confused certainly their sales teams, but they've confused their workforce on what approach we're supposed to be taking. And that's just unfortunate when they lose that time and that momentum.
Pause. Oh, you you slow down to regain clarity and control and make sure you're steering the ship on the
Yeah.
right direction, which ends up helping you speed up over time. It's called the paradox of speed,
Hmm.
right? Running fast in the wrong direction is worse than going slow in the right one.
Agreed.
That's it.
Agreed. So,
Reduce inefficiencies. We did this work with JP Morgan Chase with their AI innovation product ops robotics teams. Going fast means slowing down to reduce inefficiencies and make sure things don't go out that aren't broken.
that's
Take
right.
the Ford Pinto, for instance, biggest recall in automobile history. Didn't have to happen if you just paused every now and then to make sure you were doing the right thing. That's it.
So
That's it.
that's a perfect segue, because I was just going to bring up AI. Obviously, this is a hot topic on just about every corner of the earth, and I think there's a lot of FUD around AI. I think there is a lot of great stuff happening with AI, but when it comes to business and it comes to your pasta framework, what's your view? What's your take on how the best leaders are handling this?
It's called the and mindset.
Mm,
So one of the great therapeutics I went through is dialectal behavioral therapy, DBT.
Hmm.
The ancient study of dialectics is the idea that two opposing truths can be held at once. I can practice radical acceptance
Hmm.
and I can seek change.
Hmm.
I can hate you for what you just did, but I can also be grateful for your contributions.
Hmm.
I can go slow and I can go fast. There's a region in Italy essentially between just south of Milan and Rimini on the coast. And it's a road. It's called the Via Emilia. It's an ancient Roman road that goes from Reggio Emilia, Parma, Modena, Bologna, Rimini. And that region is called Emilia Romagna, and it's known as the land of slow food and fast cars.
Mm.
It's where the slow passage of time creates some great exports like Parmigiano Reggiano,
Yeah.
balsamic vinegar, which is aged for 25 years minimum, etc.
Hmm.
It's also the home of the fastest cars on earth. Maserati,
Hmm.
Ferrari, a client of ours, De Tomaso, Ducati. Okay? Land of slow food and fast cars. It's the and, not
Hmm.
an or.
Hmm.
It's not a but. It's an and.
Yeah.
And so I believe that great leaders, and we teach multi-day offsites and workshops around this now, is that first you have to slow down, right? To let yourself pause, reframe setbacks, step into curiosity,
Mm.
connect, build trust, so that you can use AI to speed up.
Yeah.
It's the end mindset. It's the land of slow food and fast cars,
That's the best example. I love that.
right? Like I mean, like an extreme example of this that me and a partner of ours, Outside Brands in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, we've put together a 2 day, a full 2 day deep dive on this. The first day is nature, culture, history. It's about slowing down by pausing, asking questions, savoring, blah, 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 boom, blah. Here we are. The second day is speed up. What is systems thinking, learning agility, organizational resilience, new incentive models and structures, using AI to navigate massive, broad, big picture, what if future narrative thinking,
Hmm.
bold, empathetic, collaborative, focused thinking, right? But you got to do day one first,
Yeah.
and then you date. Me and Mike Overton are pioneering this duality. It's
Yeah.
the tension that people actually. It's an inconvenience that people crave. It's beautiful.
It's such a beautiful way to look at the world. It's a beautiful way to operate. So I love the picture you just painted. Okay, so we're gonna take a 30-second pause.
By the way, you know what it all has to do with. Just to, I want to put a smell. I want to put a smell to this. Slowness is like the smell of a tide.
Mm.
Right, at low tide, the slow tide, you go out to the marsh, the South Carolina low country, and you smell that pluff mud. Is this anaerobic mixture of decaying organic moop, its richness.
Hmm.
You savor it. You sit in the silence of it. You question it. You turn on the curiosity of what lives in it, what's been exposed to it. And then the next day, you think of some fast moving grease in the cog of the wheels. Right? A great mentor of mine once said that what separates us from being $1 billion and an $8 billion organization over the next 4 years, which is their growth goals, is not better mechanisms. It's better grease in the wheels that keep it going. And that's people and culture and systems and thinking and AI, right? That's day two. Off you go.
Love it. Love it. Okay, let's take a 30-second break. We're gonna come right back with some more questions for Chris. So sit tight. If you like the stories you hear every week on this show, guess what? I have hundreds more from my nearly 30 years in the leadership trenches. And I don't just talk about building irresistible culture, I do it. You can bring me into Keynote, moderate your panels, or work directly with your leaders to drive material change. So let's roll up our sleeves, go out to heartbeatforhire.com, let's connect, and let's make some magic happen. Go lead with heart. Okay, welcome back. All right, Chris, you inspire so many people, but I would like to know what inspires you.
Define inspiration.
Well, it's however you interpret it. So, is what inspires you to continue your gratitude experiences? What inspires you to do the work you're doing? What inspires you in general?
I'd say it's a healthy balance of finding a vehicle which helps me overcome my insecurities and imposter syndrome, and a blend of actual curiosity of the people that we're doing this work alongside,
Mhm.
and my love of creativity and idea generation and creating models and narratives and metaphors to explain a big idea, to help to help take someone's big questions at the highest level of leadership of 100,000 person company and say, here's a sentence that you can use to rally your entire culture around. Here we go.
Yeah.
And let's play together. Let's have fun and play and get dirty and get messy in order to put those things in action.
You said something just now, and I don't think people would think that, but it's true for every guest that I've had on the show. And you hit on, you know, battling your own insecurities and imposter syndrome. And you're such a gregarious, outgoing guy who's done so many things. I think it surprises people when people accomplished like you say that they have them. Everybody does. But thank you for going there and sharing that you have it too, because we all do. But I think it's refreshing for people to hear. So,
Thank you for sharing that. And I mean, some of the most successful people that are running the fastest growing companies that are watching this podcast right now, I just want to say to you before I respond to that, um, you're not alone.
mm-mm,
And I know you feel that way. I know you feel like everybody wants something from you. Um, you got really successful really fast and you don't know what to do with all that stuff. And you still haven't thought back of who am I?
mm,
When you remove all this stuff, was it a fluke that I got this stuff? Was it meant for me? I know how you feel. And here's the truth. I don't think we ever stop feeling that way.
mm-mm.
I don't think I ever want to not feel this way. But I ask myself every day, if I'm going to feel this imposter insecurity, shame, guilt, regret, whatever I'm feeling inside, I could either feel those things and not do anything positive for the world, or I could feel those things and use it as a tool for empathy to go out and do
Yeah.
great things for our world. And folks, I choose the latter. And frick, it's messy sometimes. And sometimes I
Yeah.
don't even know where we're going. But I think people like you and I like to put one foot in front of the other, staying
Yeah.
committed to our purpose and proving to others and ourselves we can get through anything and we can stay laser focused on the good we can do through it.
Well,
And
and I
that's the only thing that's keeping me alive right now, besides
love
my
that.
phenomenal relationships with, family and loved ones,
Yeah.
Molly, friends, parents. That's
Beautiful.
the stuff.
Beautiful. What would you like your legacy to be?
Maybe that I helped some people uh, not think or feel so small. Um, and yeah, that I don't know, they have greatness within, and like it doesn't have to be something epic, but it could be like, hey, I have the potential to like cook bread, and I may suck at it on day one, but at least I got my start, and maybe I'll just do it for like 20 years, and one day be like really expert at what I do, and
Yeah.
that's it. But like, stay the path,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to study, progress over time and let that be a sense of satisfaction and joy.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, just from my observations of knowing you, your legacy is far greater than that. and your ability to cultivate these experiences for people to look within and think with their heart and connect. It's massive and it has a real reverberating effect. And these gratitude experiences are happening without you now. You planted the seed, and I've participated in a few of them from our friends Nadine Levine and Melissa Cohen, and getting to sit in their space and watch them take your inspiration and bring it to other communities is a beautiful thing to watch. So that is part of your legacy.
It's first of all, shout out to the two of those that you just mentioned. I'll add Denise and Lori in there as well, and so many other wonderful people from around the world who are kind of having a midlife reawakening.
Yeah.
And maybe a lot of you out there that are watching or listening to this, you're probably saying, you know what, I got the roof over my head, I got some cash in the bank. Some nice people have said nice things to me. I've raised some nice kids. I've done my part. What next?
Yeah.
Well, you've probably lived a life according to what society expected of you. You've probably lived a life chasing achievement, um, chasing dopamine, um, chasing success, and maybe, just maybe, tomorrow could look a little different.
Mm.
You could start writing your own story instead of what society expects from you. You could start chasing your legacy, not what success looks like right in front of you. You can start chasing oxytocin instead of dopamine. You can start living a life of service, connection, and community. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are kind of waking up to that realization as well. Um,
I also believe, though, that it is the company you keep. And those people that we mentioned there's a whole community of us, the Outlier Project. This is how we live. So when you are constantly being surrounded by people who celebrate who you are at your core and want to cheer you on for everything you're doing, um, you have much more courage to
of
try new
course,
things, to learn new things. So you gave a beautiful segue. You've been doing it the whole show. So what's next for you?
um, go broader and go smaller. So, um, I have made a really good living for the last 10 years and 2 months in uh, speaking at or facilitating small to medium sized group experiences. I'm either stepping on stage giving a keynote to 1,000 people, or I'm facilitating the executive offsite of 12 to 16 people.
Right.
And by the way, I've built a great name. Built a wonderful book of business across close to 400 companies. At the C-suite of these companies, I'm grateful. While I continue that work, I want to do two things. One, I want to scale up, and then two, I want to niche down. So scale up means I want to have broader conversations around like big strategic advisory conversations around organizational change,
Mm, cheers to that.
big incentive structure, promotion, different ways of working,
Here to help.
types of things, big, right? It's I can count I I I can't count I I can't count on multiple hands how many times I've been brought into a room full of really big people
Hmm.
and I've only talked about really small things.
Hmm.
Okay. So I want to do that, right? I want to get into those like big, like chairman level,
Big rooms. Yeah.
multi seven figure contract kinds of, transformation. Okay. It's going to be tough. I'm just a young kid who's never worked inside of a company, but I've got wonderful friends, mentors, colleagues, peers who have done it that I can bring into the fold. Okay. What's next is also scaling down. And what I mean by that is getting my hands dirty with more one-on-one work.
Mhm.
Um, at I believe, at a micro level, I am a great coach. I'm a I'm great with my hands. I'm a great healer. I'm great. You hop on a plane with me and we go somewhere for 3 days together, and all we've got is my questions and a little bit of booze and some good food and a great foreign destination. We're going to have a very transformative couple days.
Yeah.
Laurel Weirs does that very, very well. So I want to do a combination of both while just keeping our core, line of business, these like year-long leadership development programs,
Mhm.
working very well. Um, I want to start pushing some topics, pushing buttons on a few topics around like surrender and, leadership dynamics and
Mhm.
permission to pause and let go of control and those kind of things.
So, Chris, where can people find you?
Honestly, like if you want the best examples of my current thoughts, probably just go read my Rolling Stone column.
Mhm.
Just literally go to rollingstone.com/Chris Schembra, and we've had a column there for over 4 years, which has like some pretty legendary articles there.
Beautiful, beautiful. You are a beautiful writer.
I
It
appreciate
is
it.
so fun to read what you write.
Um, New one launches next week about Emperor Nero, who shamed an entire empire by wanting to be an actor. But that's all I'll say about it.
I love it. And
uh,
we'll put your
but
contact info in the show notes.
but no, I'd say LinkedIn. I post every day is good thoughts on what I'm thinking about here. But I don't know. My invitation to any of y'all watching this is, look, the world's a lonely place, right? 51% of the American workforce report feeling lonely on a consistent basis, which is equivalent to the reduction of lifespan of smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Oof.
And my invitation is for you to step up and do something about that, right? We cared about physical health 40 years ago. We started caring about mental health about 10, 15 years ago. The thing we need to care about tomorrow is social health.
Yeah.
Castley Killam is a leader in that space. But I think, and I invite each and every one of you just to host a dinner party.
Mm.
From the moment that you're watching this episode, I want you to look at your calendar and pick a date, 7 weeks out, maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday, maybe a Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. sharp. Invite 4, 8, 12 people, whatever. Start small. Cook something simple. Halfway through the dinner, pause and ask them our signature gratitude question. If you could give credit or thanks to one person in your life that you don't give enough credit or thanks to, or that you've never thought to thank, who would that be?
Mm.
And
Beautiful.
have fun and reach out to me and let me know if you have any questions around that, just for your friends and family. And yeah, I'm happy to help you through it.
You're the best. Chris, this has been an absolute delight. Thank you so much for sharing your story with my audience. I am so grateful to you. And sit tight, everybody. I've got an audience question coming right up. This week's audience question is about imposter syndrome. And this came from a leader who said, am I the only one who is struggling with this? And as you just heard in the episode that I just talked with Chris about, everybody struggles with imposter syndrome. And the reality is when you're doing something new for the first time, nobody knows everything. You certainly don't. And you have to give yourself grace that you've got to learn. The best thing that I love to teach leaders to do when you enter a new organization, you're part of a new team, you're in charge of a new group of people, is to go and do your homework. Go do a listening tour. Go and ask people what's going on here. Who's who in the zoo? Talk to me about the politics. Tell me what's going on. If you could fix something, what would that be? If Tell me the best things that we do. Tell me the things that would make it better. And when you get to listen, you're going to build trust because you're open. Doesn't mean you're going to do everything they're telling you, but you can listen and you can start to identify the trends, start to identify the kinds of things that need fixing. Now, usually there's a lot of responsibility when you assume this new leadership role. That's taken with a lot of weight. So you have to make sure that you create some time to do all of that. But go on that listening tour, take notes, and really spend time with your people and then ask them how you can be the best leader for them. That will help you build that trust, solidify that trust, and you'll be able to do things you never thought you could. Thank you for listening as always. Please tell your friends about the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a 5-star review or Apple or Spotify, or go watch it on Roku, Amazon, Tubi, Freevee, Pluto, wherever you find your fast networks. Thank you for always leading with heart. Have the best day and take care of each other. Thanks for listening to this episode of Heartbeat for Hire. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or consider leaving a 5-star review and a great rating at Spotify or Apple. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.